Hello everyone, welcome to Fouraye Academy. Today we have a guest.
Everyone, I'm Erdem.
Today we'll be analyzing the Glass Prison by Dream Theater. Also we'll be cross-referencing motifs used in the 12-step suite, which consists of 5 songs, in order: the Glass Prison, This Dying Soul, the root of all evil, Repentance, and the Shattered Fortress. Here we go. The first one is Glass Prison.
Right off the bat, that beautiful synth sound that Jordan Rudess has that emulates a raining really sets up a nice atmosphere for the song and also for the suite to come.
Also, it's worth mentioning that Jordan uses his keyboard, which I think at the time was a Kurzweil K2700. It really is a state of the art technology. I think it's still being used by Jordan in his home studio. It can emulate sounds and it can also be uploaded samples to play throughout live concerts.
That clean bass line, we hear an outline of a B minor and a G major chord in order.
The root notes also perform a semi-chromatic, I think, movement or like chromatic movement, but it's like just the first 2 notes from G to a G sharp.
We kick in with the guitars on an F power chord.
Isn't it a B?
Oh yeah, my bad, my bad.
Don't worry. Like we're talking about Dream Theater. I think we're gonna get so many tones and so many notes confused. I think we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
The synth play by Jordan Rudess emphasizes the tonality.
We can hear that drum build up into a release. Really beautiful.
My Portnoy on the drums, I think it was 1999, yeah, Portnoy. Portnoy really nailed the fills and the build-ups in this suite. I think props to him it would be appropriate. Right off the bat, we can see how the tables have turned, how the rhythmic structures is changed by
Yeah.
John Petrucci. He plays heavier than what we're used to in Dream Theater. He plays a heavier riff. He uses a 7 string in this recording. Normally, Dream Theater utilizes 6 string in a way that it usually has a heavier feel than most bands that use a 7 string. But John really nailed this part.
Yeah, and we also have a movement from a relatively slower phrase to a much faster phrase over here in the first riff. Also
Mhm.
worth mentioning.
Exactly, and as Adam said, the BPM is significantly increased. We can hear Mike Portnoy's genius in the background. He supports the building tension by playing a fill. Also, fun fact: John Petrucci uses an interesting choice in this tone. He uses a wah pedal to accentuate the last notes of the riff, which is not very common in metal music, especially in playing riffs. Not many musicians use wah pedals, but John perfectly utilizes it.
Again, another rhythmic change. We're into the galloping build-up section.
Now in the background we have sweeps in B minor and some diminished sweeps. This actually sweeps and diminished is used in metal music, like especially in death metal, but that's more Erdem's expertise.
Yeah, exactly. Diminished scales are used a lot in death metal and especially more brutal genres of metal. So it's very interesting to me that John Petrucci chooses to borrow from that genre, which is kind of far away from Dream Theater's regular area of operation. So I really like that he uses a diminished scale over there on the sweeps.
Also, it's worth mentioning that this particular sweep is a phrase that is used throughout the 12-step suite. For example, in The Shattered Fortress, Jordan plays the exact same phrase slowed down a bit on the keyboard right here. So this is one of the motifs that is being repeated throughout the suite.
Great example of a leitmotif in the suite. Yeah, great
Yeah.
example. How he's moved up next, increasing the intensity.
Now we're in C sharp, I think. Sorry, now we're in C sharp. Back to B. Also, don't forget to wear headphones because this is a stereo track. It's worth mentioning. We're in D minor. The tonality has changed. We're back to a similar rhythmic riff that's played in the beginning.
And down back to, I believe it's C sharp.
Yeah, it is C sharp. Now back to B, back to the beginning riff, the main riff. Also, right here, it's worth mentioning that the album 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence is actually consisting of two parts. The first part consists of individual songs. The second part is divided into 8, I think, songs, which combines to one song, which is 42 minutes in length. Dream Theater plays that live. Yeah, so Dream Theater likes dividing songs and yeah.
We're pretty much known for their really lengthy, really long songs.
Yeah, I think the best example would be Octavarium and Illumination Theory.
Yeah.
We hear the same lead played by Jordan Rudess that we heard in the beginning. Right there we have...
Right there.
Yeah, exactly. Go on, please.
Yeah, I think we're gonna say the same thing. That little triplet phrase right before the chorus kicks in, emphasized with the drums and the guitar and the keyboard. All of the instruments play a little. Actually, it's a sextuplet, but it is filled as a triplet. I think it's fair to say that that really helps to transition from the really fast-paced gallopy first section into the traditionally more slower, more harmonic chorus section. It really aids in
Exactly,
that transition.
exactly. Also, it's due to Dream Theater's complex rhythmic structures. Fills and transitions like these are needed to transition to, like, to maybe change the structure completely. Otherwise, it would be impossible to alternate between sections. And also, it's worth mentioning that this is a perfect example of Dream Theater's music being universal, as me and Erdem thought the same thing, like at the same time.
Yeah.
Also, we're alternating between F sharp minor and E major. We'll see some harmonics that supports the tone.
Lining that C chord.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's alternating between, I think, is it D minor and C major? I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Dream Theater likes to take the same riff, the same motifs, and then move it up a few semitones. I think that's a perfect example.
Yeah, and also they love taking their riffs, their motifs, and slowing them down or speeding up, just like Arda mentioned with the cross reference into the other song right there.
Yeah, yeah, in the Shattered Fortress. Yeah, exactly. Now we're back to the beginning. It's the exact same. Nothing has changed. I love the samples. Like, I'm sorry. Go on, please.
Thank you. The drums are playing a much more chill, much more mellow and laid back rhythm over here. Whereas in the intro, they were a lot more energetic and building up to something. Right now, they're in the releasing stage.
I agree. Also, as I said earlier, this is the exact same phrase that played in the beginning. Nothing has changed. Even the siren sample is the same. Although I think Jordan is going to alter the lead that he's playing. We'll see. Yep.
Yep. It was a little bit higher.
He's such a great keyboardist.
Mm.
I I think we're going to say the same thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So we both know that the turntable sound is trademark, I would say, for Slipknot, the new metal, right? New?
Yeah.
Yeah, new metal group Slipknot. They utilize the turntables a lot in their songs. So also the rhythmic structure of this particular riff resembles riffs that you would see in Slipknot's music.
Very
So,
syncopated, very jarring almost. It jumps from one to the other. It's like really, yeah, very general Slipknot vibes over here.
exactly. I think John utilizes different genres and different groups perfectly.
Sure, like we mentioned with the diminished scale and more into the death metal side, and of course there are rather trash metal influences that we can see in the verses and the vocal delivery. Yeah, they really blend a lot of genres together.
Yeah, they do it really well. Like, it's not obvious.
Mm.
I think this is a perfect time to explain one other thing. Dream Theater really likes to take the exact same guitar riff but change the drum beat. This is also seen in The Mirror, which only consists of one main riff, but Mike plays different beats, and then the total rhythmic structure of the song changes entirely. This is a perfect example of that. We're in B minor.
Emphasizing that B minor scale.
Well, this is a rather complex part. John and Jordan plays in unison this part. They play some notes that, as Adam said, emphasizes the scale that we're in, and the drum also emphasizes the heavier section of the suite, as seen. Yeah.
Also have that diminished five in there, which again circles back to that idea of referencing the death metal genre and that spectrum of metal music.
Exactly. Anything you want to add? Okay. Now, this is the type of vocal lines that we're used to see in Dream Theater's music. Now, there's like a little run at the end, right there. As Erdem mentioned earlier, Dream Theater likes to implement little sections that helps transition. This is one of them. John Petrucci plays a little run, which helps the song transit into C-sharp major and into a more maybe chill compared to the previous parts that we have heard.
Is also reflected in the vocal intensity change. Whereas before he was very intense with the delivery, now even though he's still in the same register, still in the same octave range, he's a lot more laid back in his delivery.
He's projecting less compared to the previous parts.
Yeah.
Also, a little fact: the vocals were written by Mike Portnoy in this song. It's about him quitting alcohol and alcoholism, and how alcoholism represents his quote, the glass prison, unquote. I think that's beautiful.
I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
It is. That's actually really like beautiful. Dream Theater's lyrics are usually meaningful. Also, being an absolute beast himself, Mike Portnoy also sings while playing like rather complex drum lines. That's also impressive.
Very, very impressive. Drumming in itself takes a lot of energy from you, and being able to sing on top of that is very impressive.
He has like a mechanism. He presses a button and then mic just like flies in front of his mouth, and then he just like slaps it back to the place. It's hilarious. Now we're back to the heavier section.
A little bit of a different rhythm, but still the same energy.
The same guitar riff, actually, I think. A bit changed. The vocal projection has also changed again. Now the same bridge section. Actually, you can hear Jordan playing strings on his keyboard at the background.
Yeah.
It helps, like, it's layering the sound. It's a really like unique and trademark Dream Theater sound, in my opinion.
Almost orchestratic, like in that sense.
Yeah. It's giving me a Octavarium vibe. I don't know why.
Yeah, agreed though, agreed.
In this section, the tonality seems to be stable and in B minor. I think that's helping to build some suspense, as in further of the song we'll experience a lot of time and rhythmic changes. Same chorus we have right now.
Drums are almost running.
Exactly.
Build more momentum.
Now we can hear the polyrhythmic structures of the drum line. Now we have fun stuff. That was John Myung on the bass. Now we're in E minor. The tone has changed completely. This is...
It's unrecognizable.
Oh, I'm sorry, please continue.
I was saying it's almost unrecognizable as the same song.
Exactly, like
So-
it seems like it's a completely new song, but it is the same. Actually, this suite is named the 12-step suite, which I mentioned, I think. I might have not. It's named the 12-step suite because if you go to the Spotify and you like, play the song, you go to the lyrics section, you can see the sections labeled. For example, the 9th section was labeled as restraint, I think. I might be wrong. But the sections are labeled in that fashion. So it's why basically it's named the 12-step suite. It's basically a literal 12-step suite. And this is actually one of the steps, I think. Now we have John Petrucci's solo. The feel of the song has completely changed. It's really, I think, a rushy feeling.
And straight 4/4, which is in stark contrast with the rest of the song, where the rhythmic structure changed a lot. But right now it's relatively constant, and it helps to give a more solid backing to John Petrucci's solo, which helps it shine, I think.
Yeah, exactly. A little note, as you know, in 2009, Mike Portnoy left Dream Theater and they auditioned Mike Mangini. Mangini, like on a separate note, Mangini is an alien for sure. He's like an absolute unit on the drums. But there is one criticism that I would like to make. Mangini is a bit weak in supporting Petrucci while he solos on the guitar. I think this is my personal opinion.
I think I would tend to agree. Portnoy gives, Portnoy gives a little bit of space to shine the guitars in, but he also backs the rhythmic structure of the solos very well, I think, which Mangini sometimes kind of lacks in that regard. Not to say he's bad in that aspects, but he's not as good as Mike Portnoy is.
I think he can improve is what you're trying to say, because he's like an absolute legend drummer. I think there is
Technical ability unmatched, yeah.
Yeah, I think we have to like make a slight side note. We're not saying Mangini is bad. In like quite on the contrary. I think Mangini is like one of the best drummers that have ever lived on the earth, technical wise. As Erdem said, his technical like advanced level is unmatched amongst drummers. So yeah, with that being said. This is Jordan Rudess. Now we're back on B.
Very fast section over here.
Yeah. Now F sharp. Now Jordan and John are playing unison in B minor. Now they're playing intervals.
Really love how they teased both of the individual keyboard and the guitar sections. They played little solos in back to back, and then when they joined in unison, it was a really beautiful release, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. They like teasing us with like little sections. Also, they really like putting funnier, I would say rather funnier parts into their song, like in Dance of Eternity, the ragtime, you know. I think it really adds character to the song, in my opinion.
It's a little bit of lighthearted fun, I think, which really Dream Theater uses to its best ability.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Now into a heavier feeling. The same funnier part. Now C sharp minor. Also, it's worth mentioning that this particular part is also seen in the Shattered Fortress. It's one of the motifs that is used in the song, this 12-step suite. As I said, it's the same riff, but it's a bit different in context when compared. Here's another one that John plays.
Good transition.
And now we're into the main melody to maybe come to the end of the first song. It slows down the tempo quite a lot. Did you hear at the back? The guitar played G sharp, D, G sharp, C sharp. You heard that, right?
Can you run that back?
Yeah, of course. That part. Da-dum, da-dum. You heard that, right?
Mm.
That is the intro of This Dying Soul.
What a motif. Damn.
Yeah, it is really impressive, and I have never noticed it till like last week. It's also played again. Ta-dum, ta-dum. Building suspense to the end of the song. And that was Glass Prison by Dream Theater.
What a song.
Exactly, but I'm not finished. If that's okay, I would like to address the motifs, at least some of the motifs that are being used in the suite.
Yep.
So, the most obvious one I would like to start with, in This Dying Soul, there's a section, the first verse. Here. This clean part.
So glad to see you, my friend. It's been a while.
This is the exact opening of Repentance. In different tone.
Yeah.
Also, the first line of the lyrics are the same.
Patterns staring at the
Also,
It's also a little bit slower, but yeah, the motif is. Yeah, Dream Theater really does that a lot, using motifs across different songs to build into something larger, such as the 12-step suite over here. We can see.
they really nailed it, to be honest. Also, the one of the sections in The Root of All Evil is the exact same of the chorus on This Dying Soul, if I may. Now, on to The Root of All Evil. I think right here. Yeah. The same octave riff is played here. This is actually one of the rather noticeable motifs. There is one more that I would like to address. This is usually not seen inside the community because rather than melodic, this is a rhythmic motif that is used. So, in the start of This Dying Soul, there is like a riff that is there's like a rhythmic structure that goes like this. Yeah. You can hear that, right? That is actually the exact same rhythm that the Root of All Evil's intro is played in.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you have never noticed this, right? I mean, you might have.
Yeah,
But
never. Yeah, that is the same rhythm.
it's really cool.
Interesting.
It's really cool, I think.
Yeah.
They really
It's really
nailed it.
nice how they don't just use just. I'm just saying just in air quotes right now. It's cool that they don't just use melodic motifs, but also rhythmic motifs, because that's not usually something that's really discussed. Like you said, most discussion about music theory revolves around harmonics and melodics, and not a lot of emphasis is placed on rhythmic motifs. And it's really nice that you mentioned that.
Yeah, exactly. Also, this is one last final surprise fact. You know, the lyrics is saying like, "Hello mirror, so glad to see you, my old friend." There is one song of Dream Theater named "The Mirror." Actually, that's about that song.
Oh, it's from.
Awake.
Yeah, it's from the.
Yeah, Awake. Awake
Yeah,
album.
I think I know that.
Yeah. It's like as I said. Hold on, actually, I would like to show that. This one. this is the song I was talking about.
One of the first songs that got me into Dream Theater.
Yeah, same. Well, with that being said, that was basically what we had to talk about today. First of all, I would like to thank Erdem for joining me today.
No problem.
He's
Pleasure.
he's a prodigy in guitar. He's actually one of the main reasons I really worked hard to improve myself in guitar. So I would like to thank him again for
Thank you.
being my main motivation in guitar.
Very humbling.
He's really good though. Like check him out. Also check him out. Like so Erdem, thank you for joining me today, and thank you all guys for watching. I hoped we enlightened you in terms of the music of Dream Theater.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Arda. This was, I think, a very good, very not. I wouldn't say extremely thorough, but I think we did a good job of like not only seeing the surface but also digging deep a little bit.
Yeah,
Really
exactly.
enjoyed this thing.
I think we can maybe dig a little deeper in another episode.
Oh, for sure. We didn't even mention the rhythmic changes.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so much said.
But I think due to Dream Theater's rhythmic complexity, that would take like twice the time.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
Other
guys,
time.
thank you all for watching, and see you in the next episode. Take care.